Grand Portage reminded us of the main fur trade route, from Montreal, up the Ottawa River, and across the Georgian Bay and west on Lake Superior to Grand Portage. A trip which took from 6 to 8 weeks and involved nearly 1,000 miles of paddling. From Grand Portage, the Voyageurs went further west, through the tangled lake and river country of the Quetico, up to the Lake of the Woods to Winnipeg. We all had 2 jobs to do, carry and paddle, and we soon found out what carrying was. We carried all canoes and gear over the Grand Portage, and this was 8 long miles accompanied by swarms of mosquitoes and black flies. Extreme heat. Some of the crew were not expecting such hardships. The portage started at the foot of Partridge Falls and up over a height of land. Real tough going the first day. Everybody was anxious to get these rapids and the portage behind it. To prevent fatigue in paddling, we switched sides every 30 strokes. Everybody gets up early on a canoe trip. The mosquitoes make sure of that. We paddled 5 miles up Pigeon River and walked our canoes for another 8 miles in waist-deep water. The current was running up to 15 miles an hour in the rapids, and the stream bed was covered in boulders. We arrived at the Foul Lake Portage, which was 1.5 miles of upgrades. It was 9 o'clock when we got to sleep, on an island free of mosquitoes. Before going to bed, we had a meal of stew and a mug of hot coffee. I was glad we had decided to bring stew instead of the salted pork or pemmican Voyageurs ate. You can carry authenticity too far. Up in the morning. Had difficulty keeping in stroke and were not making very good time. A couple of days, the boys' hands were pretty soft, not used to steady paddling, and a few blisters were collected. Now, there's not much room in a canoe for legs and piles of gear, and the paddlers complained of leg cramps, sitting and paddling all day. Intrusion into the forest went almost unnoticed, for our paddles were quiet, and we were working too hard to speak. By this time, all the paddlers realized the importance of a steady rhythm. This was perhaps the reason the Voyageurs sang their songs and timed their with a tune. Getting into fast water again, we decided to land and carry our gear up the portage. These trails are worn smooth in many places, the rocks having been worn down by the feet of many Indians and voyageurs who've been going over them for centuries. When it's dry, this is a good trail. Six men can carry a north canoe without much trouble. By ducking your head under the hull, you can shift the weight to your other shoulder if you start to get tired. After breaking camp in the morning, the important job of loading a canoe is the responsibility of the bowman. From experience, he's learned to balance the canoe to make steering easy. With the canoes packed, we pushed off on another lake, ready to tackle the next portage. We are nearing Staircase Portage and head in for shore. When coming into shore, the bowman starts to back paddle, and then the rest of the crew do a side stroke to draw the canoe into the shore. This one was pretty well over with young shrubs. It's no problem for the boys carrying the packs, but it was really rough going carrying those big canoes. No canoeman likes to get the bottom of his canoe scratched by bushes or rocks. It's like keeping the shine on your automobile. Turning the canoe over at portage is done carefully to avoid damaging the hull.